Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Roguecast.
We're back.
We're back.
What people don't know is that this is our second recording. I'm giving it away.
What if it's like the gopher thing?
The gopher thing?
The gopher thing. What's the movie with the gopher? And Bill Murray.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
It's a groundhog, not a gopher.
Whatever.
The gopher is the...
They're not the same. Just because they're small and
furry. Is this a Berenstain Bears thing? I've always seen Gopher Day.
But he is in a gopher movie. He's in...
he is.
Caddyshack.
You're right.
But what you're referencing, because I didn't even finish what I was saying, the audience doesn't know. We restarted and rebooted the podcast because we had an interruption of just a few seconds into recording it.
No,
so
Dave.
This is actually our second go at this.
Oh, I see why you were confused. No, I wasn't referencing Groundhog Day. I was actually referencing Caddyshack, and we've all taken up golf.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Am I in another world right now?
Yes, you are. It's an alternate timeline where we all play golf instead of drawing, reading comics, playing games. This is now a golf podcast. So we're going to talk about birdies and par.
And 9 irons.
9 irons and 3 woods.
I am interested in 9 irons.
Putts.
Yeah,
I think that's everything I know about golf.
Putts, P-U-T-Z. That's how I'm hearing it.
We're going to talk all about turf.
Turf. Yes.
And sand traps.
Welcome to the Golf Cast. That is the last I know of anything on golf.
Yep.
I'm watching a golf show right now.
Are you?
I'm watching Stick on Apple TV.
Did it get better?
It did, actually.
Okay.
I found it to be pretty charming for what it is.
I'm just watching Game Changers over and over again.
What's it called? Stick. Is that just like a term for a golf club? Is that
I mean, yeah, but I think it's also another golfing term that I can't remember.
Or does it star Daredevil's mentor, Stick? He teaches a ninja golfer.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. The Stealth Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in.
They sort of...
I mean, it does have Owen Wilson. It is Mobius.
Yeah, that's Mobius. It could be.
It makes 100%.
If he's Mobius in every movie he's in.
It also stars your favorite ex-podcaster, Mark Maron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Maron's good.
He's very funny.
By the way, Stick, as Daredevil's trainer, is a less... like, most people know that Ninja Turtles was kind of pulled from Daredevil lore originally. But people do forget that Splinter was a riff on Stick.
I forget that too, actually.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Oh, his name's Splinter.
Yeah.
Yep. Like what? Okay.
Yes, like a splinter from a stick.
Oh, mind blown.
Yep. So the big things are he got the turtles got the powers from the ooze, trained by Stick / Splinter, and then of course the hand and became the foot.
Yep.
I think those are all the big ones.
Shredder has no correlation.
Shredder has no correlation. He's not the Kingpin. Yeah.
All right. It would be fun to see Kingpin in a weird giant metal suit.
It probably happened in the 90s at some point.
It's an XXL. So.
I mean, you look enough in the 90s.
If you mash Adam X Extreme and Kingpin,
Daredevil does have his armored look.
It's true. I kind of like his armored look.
His armored look is better than Captain America's armored look.
It's a solid look.
You mean from the Streets of Ice when he accidentally got addicted to drugs and they had to freeze the super soldier serum out of his blood to get the drugs out of him?
There's that. There was also when he got his back broken.
Oh, right, yes.
And he had to wear an armored suit so
was
he could
that
walk.
Before or after he was turned into a werewolf?
I think it was after.
Okay. A lot of weird shit happened in the 80s, folks.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the 90s, wasn't it?
That was 90s.
That was the early 90s. Yeah. I love that run, but man, it got weird.
Yeah, it did. Very weird.
You write a book for several hundred issues, eventually someone's going to be a werewolf. All right.
What else do we got?
It's summer. Reading Challenge continues. We got, I think, about 3 more weeks left.
Something like that.
Mid-August.
That's enough time to get in there.
Read
and
your books, children.
Yep. And
plenty of time to test those wits of yours.
3 graphic novels?
5.
5 graphic novels. Get 5 graphic novels read. Get a prize pack for it. Get up on our on the leaderboard.
Yes.
Dave doesn't think you could do it.
And Dave doesn't.
Oh, we're doing reverse psychology.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
Is it time for my Glengarry Glen Ross speech?
Yes. Give that to every small child who comes in the door. Make sure and use all the F-bombs.
Sorry, kid. Prize packs are for winners.
Put that marker down.
Yes.
T-Fest is coming up here in a couple weeks. That's August 8th through 10th. That is a new board game convention, board and role-playing game convention here in Austin. We are going to be... Or is it Round Rock? Pflugerville? Somewhere there. Pflugerville. We'll have a table there. You can go play games. They've got their game calendar up now.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
We imagine we'll have board games and role-playing games and dice and
Play
cool
for
things.
a very long time.
Play for very long. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, if you want a game, these guys are going to cut loose.
I will probably, at our booth, I'm probably going to bring like Flip 7 and Happy Mochi. So if you want to come by and learn a quick game, I will teach those quick games.
Who needs sleep? Just play
You know
games.
what you should do? You should come by and hustle Randy at them and be like, I don't know how you play this.
Now let's play for money.
And then crush him.
Yeah. I'm not going to play Happy Mochi for money. Although I have won a lot of Happy Mochi games.
If they're good enough at the con, you are going to play for money.
Oh, I see. They're gonna trick me into
it's
it.
a good plan, Randy. But the right con man can get you going.
Yeah. Dave, you can't con an honest man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that nobody has ever been conned in America.
That's right. Nobody honest.
Every day, every minute.
You know, Kirk got conned.
Good point.
Let's get to Cary Grant. Get out.
We don't have a lot of games to report this week. Just one big one. We got Unmatched, Battle of Legends Volume 3. Unmatched, for those who don't know, I'm sure we've talked about this podcast before, is a little miniatures and card game where you have a champion, and the cards represent both your health and moves and things you do as you try to defeat each other.
And the characters are made up from both licensed characters, but a lot from public domain characters. Like, it's King Arthur, it's Robin Hood, it's the Baba Yaga, it's, Alice in Wonderland with a cool sword.
Volume 3.
Yeah, what do we got?
Pandora.
Yeah.
Blackbeard.
Yep.
Loki. And the Chupacabra.
That is quite the variety.
A great mix. Yep.
And they've also, over time, they've done characters from Marvel. Like, there's a Deadpool one.
Although they lost that license.
Right.
So.
It is out there in the wild, but we can't sell it.
We only have a couple of them.
A lot of them are out of print.
A lot of them are out of print. Yeah, the Buffy
But it's a very fun game.
The Cobble and Fog one is.
Each character plays very differently, and you can, they had ones that, it was like, the Jurassic Park set had velociraptors and stuff. So if you're ever could Blackbeard defeat 2 velociraptors? This is the game.
I will also say the miniatures are cool, but also the art, just in general.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking game.
Yeah, kind of high production. I forget. Was it associated with?
It was
Mondo.
Mondo was originally Mondo. Now it is from Restoration Games.
Okay.
Both pretty good.
Carries a snappy look.
All right, comics wise, this week is not as big as the last couple. But there's a couple notable
Thank God,
things.
they were monsters.
So, Godzilla #1 is probably the big release this week. This is the start of the Kaisei era. That's Kiasei.
Right, and it is the name that they have given for the energy that fuels Godzilla,
and that he blows out his face.
And also, though, that other people can tap into in this, because this was, I think, a pleasant surprise for all of us, I want to say.
So I've been looking forward to this, actually.
Because it's an ongoing Godzilla comic with a continuity that will be shared between some others.
Yeah, there's 2 other books coming. One is called it's whatever they call the Zone.
Let's come to those in just a second and say what the main one is, and then there's 2 kind of neat ideas for spin-offs.
Okay, well, it's called the Dead Zone. The reason I want to mention that is because this takes place in the Dead Zone.
It doesn't?
Yes.
Oh, is it actually?
That's where their headquarters is.
Oh, that's right.
So this is essentially, it's kind of a Pacific Rim vibe. It's like these are the guys who
alternate world present.
There have been kaiju since Godzilla emerged in 1954.
Yep.
And this is like the secret government organization that fights him, which includes Jet Jaguar, a Godzilla kaiju fighter.
Yep.
But also 3 people with superpowers.
Right, that they got from the, how do you say the energy?
Kaisei. And so this is this is focused around the superpowered squad that goes out and takes out kaiju.
Yeah, it has some of what I would consider the kind of both superhero and, if you've seen some anime stuff like, I don't know, Evangelion and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's the sort of the teen and hero angst sort of side of it, of these, can these people work together? And there are some neat ideas that they talk about, that kind of, it does the Pacific Rim thing of kind of creating doing a lot of world building.
It does.
It kind of gives you a sense of walking around and living in this world. When one of Godzilla's
another famous kaiju you would recognize.
Another famous kaiju.
Not Gamera or anything like that, but if you know the Godzilla world at all, you'll recognize the name.
Yep. But the way they talk about this one is kind of cool because it's kind of it sounds like they're scientists and naturalists trying to figure out the pattern and the movement and all that stuff and how to weaken it or interact with it. Do they need to fight it?
There's a great line here from their drill sergeant type guy. I think he's the commander. He's like, we operate under one real simple philosophy. You go after Godzilla, Rodan, or goddamn King Caesar with a plane or a tank, you give him one big target. So instead, you come at them with a bunch of absolutely strapped bastards willing to go mano-a-mano. Eeny-weeny targets. That's clever. It's smart.
Yeah, not big targets, but lots of little small targets.
I will say, this is written by Tim Seeley.
Yep.
So he's been instrumental in a lot of really good books.
Yep.
He's a very smart writer with good ideas.
Yep. He goes back to kind of like, he was there when Tom King got his start doing the Nightwing spinoff, Grayson.
Yep.
The spy book with Dick Grayson. He did Revival.
Currently on Sci-Fi Channel.
He did Hack Slash, which we liked, and he does the Naughty Comic Money Shot, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the spin-offs are other books that are set in this kind of era that's both kind of post-apocalyptic, but there is also high-tech stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there are cities and things.
Before you... there's the walled city of Manhattan.
Yep.
Before you get to that, I do want to mention the art. Nicola Sismeshiza is gorgeous. Really nice.
It's kind of like this energetic... I don't quite know...
I think anime... There's an anime vibe to it a little bit. But also... Yeah, it's not quite... It's not quite that.
Some ways its own thing. Yeah, it's got a nice sense of exaggeration.
Yes, but anyway, so yes, there are going to be 2 other books.
One is in the Dead Zone, the Pacific Northwest, walled off from the rest of the world, and there's a guy in there he's like half man, half kaiju.
Yeah.
So he's going to be some very powerful loner type person. I don't know if this guy's going to be like their Wolverine, their Drizzt, or something like that, but kind of the cover makes it sort of look like that.
Yeah.
So it's called Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone.
Yep.
And then there's Starship Godzilla, which is like a full sci-fi thing.
Yep.
And like a Mecha Godzilla starship.
Yep.
It says, this ragtag group flies through space in Mecha Godzilla and takes high-risk, high-reward missions across the galaxy. A kaiju heading towards your planet? Give them a call. A colossal space pest clogging up your trade route? They'll get rid of it. A galactic civil war utilizing kaiju on both sides? They'll do their best to stay out of it.
I think this is a really good idea.
This is really cool, yeah.
Embiggen Godzilla to another degree and like make its own universe that's interconnected.
If I hadn't read the first issue and seen that has such a solid foundation, I might have been like, I don't know, this sounds ambitious, but it could easily falter. And we still haven't seen these other books, but the foundation is very strong.
I've been excited about this since they mentioned it, because I'm at best a mild Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting
kind of taps
new
into
take.
a little bit of our superhero energy.
Yeah.
A little bit of our fondness for Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
It's got kind of multiple things, and there's some surprises to be had, and even some humor. Nick, you pointed out earlier the Jet Jaguar character has a particular quirk that's kind of a fun tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah.
And the characters interact in interesting ways.
Yeah, I mean, it is not unlike Pacific Rim. There's those kind of characters
for sure, that
and
was
things like that.
Larger than life and a little goofy. At times.
Yeah.
But in the best way possible.
Right. It's not like the book is goofy. The book takes the threats seriously, for sure. What else?
Not a lot of new superhero comics this week, but there are a couple jumping on points from DC. Flash Bad Moon Rising Special, which is weirdly not really a Flash book.
Right. The Flash is almost a guest star in this book, but I guess over in that book there's been Eclipso, the villain who's been around since the 60s, but they kind of amped him up in the 90s, and he's even maybe at a higher level now, almost potentially godlike power if he fulfills his plans. And he is looking to recruit, because he's another shadowy type person, the Shade, the sometimes good guy, sometimes bad guy who goes, back to the JSA, right, Randy? Mm-hmm. But was a hugely prominent character in the 90s when they did the Starman comic. He became very close friends with Jack Knight, and was a very richly developed kind of... he was more friend than frenemy, but a little frenemy-ish.
Yeah.
This is a spotlight on him, and I would say, like, if you happen to be one of those Starman people, you almost have to get it, because it's all lore about Opal City and the O'Dare family, like Hope O'Dare, the lady who was part from the family of cops is in it, Shade is in it, the other Starman is in it, and it involves a sort of I guess I'd say a way that Eclipso is sort of blackmailing Shade into joining his evil crusade. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Flash fans will think of it because it's so Shade-centric, but it is a well-done issue, and I think that the person who wrote it did do a pretty good homage to what James Robinson did with Opal City in the 90s. So, and I was a big fan at the time. So, I think it's kind of a cool offbeat thing.
Superman number 28 is by Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora, who I think have been the creative team on this book for a little while.
Yeah.
This is part 1 of Legion of Darkseid, where basically Darkseid has corrupted the Legion of the future, and they come back in time to fight Superman.
Yes. And this is very much the follow-through, the first really big follow-through from the DC All-In special.
For sure.
Where, we saw Darkseid sort of exiled from creation or whatever, and that led to, like, the Absolute Universe. And, but people were like, oh, then what happens next with Darkseid and stuff like that? Well, This is basically what happens next.
Yeah, this is the follow-up.
And it's probably going to, what we think, reset the Legion or kick off.
I think that's probably where they're headed, yeah.
Redeem them, but right in this, they're pretty scary antagonists.
Well, from what I understand, these are the Legion from the Absolute Universe.
Right, that's what you were saying. That makes some sense. Although it's also weird because the Absolute Universe is so offbeat that I would think that they'd be like even less like the Legion we know.
Yeah.
In the Absolute Universe. But, these mysteries are unfolding, and we'll find out more answers as we go. But it's a pretty good issue with some amazing art from Dan Mora.
Yeah, Dan Mora kills it.
And the Legionnaire is presented as a pretty serious threat to Superboy. They do when they're evil, it turns out they use their power in evil ways.
It's true.
And they're pretty scary in that way.
Yeah.
Some indie number ones this week. Texarcanum, which is from Dark Horse Comics, features Avery Bell, who is basically a monster hunting cowboy.
Okay.
He's got a pickup truck with all kinds of arcane symbols on it, and he's driving around small town Texas.
So it's redneck supernatural.
It's redneck supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some fun art. It's a fun idea. And then from Cy Spurrier and an artist. I don't know that I know this artist before.
It looked good.
Oh, it's Vanessa Del Rey. Yeah, I've seen her stuff before.
And notably from Image Comics.
From Image Comics. The voice said kill. Dave, you said you read through this one. And
right, I only had time to give it a quick skim, but they described it as Deliverance meets Fargo. Kind of a... there's like a creepy, sort of like I think like a bayou killer out there, and the art is kind of like has a... I would say a deliberately messy look. This has a little kind of... It feels like what did they say? Like a swampy fever dream, like Murder on the Bayou.
Yeah.
It reminded me of kind of Jason Aaron when he's in his exploitation mode, like The Goddamned, or even like Bug Wars, but like here in like a sort of Southern Gothic setting with a bad, violent people of the South. I think I saw when I was reading the synopsis for it somewhere that there's I think a pregnant woman who ends up on the run, which that's pretty intense. I hope she's okay. Man, I'm just looking through it as some random lines of dialogue.
Sure, yeah.
There is some crazy lines of dialogue in there. Anyway, if you like the crime-sploitation comics, the voice said kill. It's probably worth taking a peek at.
There's also one other new number one.
Or if you're just from the South and you want some...
So Dynamite has a couple this week. Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls, which is what it sounds like.
If you like any of those properties, it is a ton of fun, actually. It's a good first issue. Wonderful cartooning.
Takes itself fairly seriously within its own methodology, or within its own series. And Powerpuff Girls is obviously very lighthearted. How do they mix, Nick?
It's a little more Saturday morning cartoon Thundercats as opposed to the Declan Shelby kind of more serious in tone version.
Yeah.
And the Powerpuff Girls are Powerpuff Girls.
Nice.
But there's some cool crossover.
I heard that Mojo Jojo traps them in a rocket, and that ends them up on Thundera, which is the name of the Thundercat planet.
Yeah, nice. And then they also have
remember the time Mojo Jojo trapped me in a rocket.
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to do that.
Yeah. There's a Vampirella Armageddon, which is, I guess, a story that they've done previously. It's the future world of Sepulture City, and Vampirella is dealing with the forces of chaos in this future city.
Okay.
If you're a Vampirella fan, then you have
it's a dark Vampirella Vampocalypse.
What if you're just fans of Sepultures?
Well, then you would want this.
Yeah. Don't you say sepulcher?
I don't say anything. I don't say that word. I don't believe in it.
Very few people say that word.
Also worth noting, I guess, that Batman Hush Part 4 is this week.
Yep.
Some notable number 2s. We've got New History of the DC Universe, which gets right into the Silver Age. Actually, the Heroic Age, I guess, because it's basically like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman,
Yep.
the Justice League, Teen Titans, all that stuff.
Yeah, it is the kind of the modern age, the Justice League, and all the kind of big heroes and villains surrounding them.
And Mark Waid writing, and this issue has art by Mike Allred, and I feel like there's another one.
There is.
Is it Kev Walker?
At least one other, maybe two.
No, it's not Kev Walker.
It's somebody Walker. So I was looking for the credits, and
Is it Brad Walker?
they bury. Oh, probably Brad Walker. Yeah,
They're
they
all
bury the
good.
credits in these things. Anyway,
Yeah.
if you want another chapter of this.
Yeah, you pointed out,
Brad
right? What
Walker.
is it? Project Superman or whatever?
Project Superman. They tied a bunch of stuff into Project Superman, like
Right.
Metamorpho, Captain Atom.
Yeah, there's some pretty clever linking of things, and part of the idea behind this is to make a somewhat more cohesive whole of DC's lore.
It's fun to see Mike Allred draw all these characters.
Yeah, yeah, I like all the artists that they've been doing on them.
Runaways #2, second part of that new series.
I want to read this, but I have not had a chance to read
either.
it yet.
That's good.
That first issue was like a lot of our favorites that week it came out.
Emma Frost White Queen #2, which is that flashback miniseries to her early days in the Hellfire Club.
Yep, she's trying to root out what she thinks is a traitor in the Hellfire Club, even as people are casting suspicious eyes on her, and Sebastian Shaw being that kind of manipulator he is like kind of playing everybody
There's
against
lots
each
of
other.
backstabbing.
Lots of backstabbing.
Third issues, we've got Gwenpool #3.
Yep.
We've got Exquisite Corpses #3, and we've got Mr. Terrific Year 1 #3. A lot of people love Mr. Terrific Year 1 #1, which unfortunately is out of print. Hopefully DC will get the message and reprint
I hope so.
sooner rather than later. Issue 250 of Moon Knight, or as we call it now, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #10. But this is 250 issues of Moon Knight, and so
legacy numbering.
yeah,
That's Moon Knight doesn't always get his just desserts, and he has been around since the 70s.
yes indeed.
So I can allow him to have a 250th issue special.
This issue is kind of a big deal. It is Moon Knight, Tigra, Hunter's Moon, Soldier, and Reese is like his whole group. They are going in against Fairchild, the Asgardian drug dealer they've been fighting.
Yeah.
And he calls up a posse of third-string villains, all of whom I knew from Marvel Universe and stuff.
Can you give me just one of them, or a random one?
Killer Shrike is one of them.
Oh yeah.
Zoran from Batroc's Weapon Brigade.
Yes,
He's
is he like the?
He's the weapons master.
Is he the knife guy?
No, he's the weapons master.
Okay, these are characters I know mainly from the old Marvel Universe handbook.
Daredevil villain Jester.
I know all of these guys.
Anyway, I forgot 8-Ball is also on his team.
Nice.
So they go in and do sort of a Dredd.
8-Ball is gonna. I feel like.
What's the movie that Dredd was sort of based on?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The Raid.
the Korean
The Raid.
movie, yeah.
It's sort of the Raid. They're attacking this building and trying to get to Fairchild, and they got to go through all these villains first.
Nice.
Ton of fun, really good, great art.
I hope they save Fairchild from Gen X.
Yeah, sure. Really good. I like that a
Gen
lot.
13, that's what they were,
Gen
right?
13, yes.
Yeah.
Absolute Martian Manhunter #5, Absolute Wonder Woman #10, Justice League Unlimited #9, which is the epilogue of We Are Yesterday.
Yep.
Rick Remender's Seasons #6, and Void Rivals #21.
Oh, I missed Void Rivals.
Oh.
Sad.
Anything else? Any other single issues I missed?
I don't think so.
I want to give a quick shout out. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I am going to read Green Lantern 25. I've been kind of keeping a watch on both Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps. And the interesting thing that happened at the end of the previous Green Lantern was that they introduced the character from the Bruce Timm's Green Lantern animated series, who was the kind of robot body embodiment of their ship's AI, which was called, I think, Aya. So they've introduced her. Man, this art is super good. Why is this art so good?
The 25th issue, they have to bring out all the stops. I think there's a glow-in-the-dark variant?
The artist's name is Zarmanico.
He's been on the art for a while.
It's with an X. Just flipping through it, let's see, I guess Superboy is also in this, and man, it's so nice looking. But yeah, I actually really like that character on the Bruce Timm show, and so I'll be interested to see how they handle her. Other than that, I think you mentioned all the big stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Graphic novel wise, we've got it's not even a graphic novel, it's just a novel. We can start getting the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yep.
They have a new one called The Cryptid Chronicles. There's going to be a series of these.
Yep.
But the first one is Mothman.
Yes. I was hoping the other day to get to read a few pages and make my Mothman decisions and see if I was slain by the Mothman or became friends with the Mothman, but I didn't get a chance to because it was busy.
We got Godzilla Monsterpiece Theatre trade. This is the
Tom Scioli's Godzilla versus literature.
Yeah. But I mean, heavily it's
Gatsby.
Gatsby.
Yeah, I believe he kills Daisy.
Yes.
Gatsby's girl.
Yep.
And Gatsby rounds up other, prominent leaders or like I guess protagonists from literature to form his own kind of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen to take down Godzilla. Just craziness.
Yep.
But it did very well in the single issues.
It did.
So yeah, if you are looking for probably one of the most offbeat Godzilla stories you're ever going to see, and when it goes out of print, it will become this big cult book and nobody can find it, and you're going to be like, do you still have that Godzilla with Gatsby? Well, you got to get it now.
IDW is killing it with licensed books. Like, they're doing really good, interesting stuff. Star Trek, Godzilla, Turtles.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, they are really the kings of licensing.
It is what Dark Horse used to do.
Yeah.
Dark Horse, kind of, I think sort of through no fault of their own, just licenses lapsed and people ended up kind of moving elsewhere. Yeah. Some of it may have been internal issues, but man, they used to kill it with Star Wars and Conan and stuff like that. But yeah, congrats to IDW on figuring out that formula, which I think is largely get good writers.
Yeah. and smart editors. I think that
smart editors.
IDW has smart editors who are willing to talk to the licensors and try to do something a little outside the bounds of what's normal, and not just go with something that would be safe and easy.
Don't give them what they think they want.
Yeah.
The old Stan Lee adage.
Patchwork Girl of Oz gets its first trade. I know you've been reading that, Dave.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think the only issue or two that I haven't read are just the last ones. But it was really good. If you liked the Scotty Young Oz books he did for Marvel, this is a no-brainer. It's basically a continuation of them.
We've got the Nightwing by Tom Taylor and Taylor Redondo Omnibus. This is the best Nightwing run, maybe the best Nightwing run. Like, I don't know that I have a better one. And this is the first omnibus collection of a lot of their stuff, maybe the first half of it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this would probably be like, what about the equivalent of like 3 or 4 trades?
I would guess about 3 trades.
Yeah, it's going to be really good stuff if you've got a Nightwing fan and you want to gift them a kind of a nice edition of them.
If I didn't already own all this in hardcover, I would be picking up this compendium.
You should pick it up just to watch Randy's eyes sort of turn moist with tears as he's like, I could have had that, but I already bought the hardcovers.
Yes.
The little baby individual ones, which now look puny by comparison.
Correct.
You'll see it in his face.
It's true.
He'll break eventually.
And then, no, I don't double buy. And then the Superman City of Tomorrow Compendium, which is a interesting period of time. Joe Kelly was writing. I don't remember who else was writing. Steven Seagal, maybe?
The big overarching thing was that Brainiac had unleashed a sort of like a technological virus that infected all the technology of Metropolis.
Yeah, and so made it like a futuristic city, but with danger to it.
Right. You know how like there was that they sometimes call it the City of Tomorrow, but a lot of times it looks like basically just a modern city.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it futurized everything in there. Yeah. But yeah, like it was like, oh, your wall might just start nanotech absorbing you, or a little tentacle might come out, or maybe you're like, oh, is everything listening to me in here?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that Date Anything app thing.
It's Dave. I haven't played Date Anything, but I'm pretty sure it's not like that.
Anything in there. It could be a Brainiac thing that's dateable.
Okay. Moving on.
Jimmy Olsen would do it.
Yeah, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some trailers and some news and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. All right, we got a couple trailers to talk about and a little bit of news. Let's start with the trailer for Predator Badlands.
Yeah, so this went from something that I kind of wasn't interested in to this was the trailer, I have to say, they kind of won me over.
I've been into this because Trachtenberg is so reliable.
Yeah, he's good.
I guess I will retroactively go and rewatch, I'll watch Predator Prey.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
Not rewatch. I just need to watch it.
You haven't seen it all.
I watched about half of it, and I was kind of bored, and then I moved on.
I didn't love it as much as a lot of people loved it, but I did think it was a really good Predator movie.
I thought it was a great premise, and then I just wasn't. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood.
It also starts slow. I will say, I think Predator probably starts slow.
I remember you mentioning that at the time.
I liked that it did something different with the Predator world.
Well, and
that was cool.
He seems to be doing that here.
Yeah,
to some degree. I just watched a video on it the other day that was analyzing it, and sort of was kind of saying that the only good, really interesting story in Predator was the one that they did in the first movie, which was to start looking like an action movie with Arnold and his team, and then to find out they were in over their heads and they get hunted almost like a horror movie, till Arnold Schwarzenegger is the final girl. But that said, if you like these the monster and all that stuff, that's why you buy into these kind of franchises. And, the last Aliens franchise I gave a shot to was, what was that one? Romulus?
Yeah, Romulus.
Romulus was dope. And this one looks pretty good, too. And it also had something that surprised us all, I think. Did we know... So what's the... Dakota?
Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah. She was in the teaser.
Is it Dakota Fanning or Elle Fanning?
Dakota Fanning.
Okay. Right. So we knew
it
that...
is Elle Fanning. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
She's great. She's the younger sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's playing an android, which we kind of knew, but I did not know that it was explicitly Weyland Yutani, aka the Aliens universe design program, and mega corporation, evil mega corporation.
She's
she's like a combat model android.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who I'm somewhat unclear on why she was on this world, which is apparently like just some super deadly, jungly looking world with lots of dangerous creatures.
I mean, Weyland Yutani's always looking for some new.
Yeah, they're probably like, hey, go
to...
harvest some stuff from here. Get us some snake venom from
and
that.
They just ran into things they couldn't handle, so she's probably a
clean up or.
Well, no, I bet she's a defunct relic of whatever force they sent.
Oh, maybe like the one survivor or something. I could see that. And then the other part where is that there's a predator in it who is a young predator on his first hunt and out to prove himself. Seems like he wants to take down the biggest, baddest thing on this planet, which is what I would consider a boss video game monster.
Yes, for sure.
It is a big old thing that's it's not Godzilla big.
No, but it is. I mean, it's a big giant worm or something.
Yeah, well, it like had lots of tentacles, but it actually looked like in structure it'd be like the equivalent of like a dinosaur, like T-Rex.
It looks like
sized.
something you fight in Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
or,
yes. It looks suitably boss monster scary.
Yep.
And
he's got a cool energy bow too.
He's got cool gear. They gave us a little bit more of him in this one, and also showed him. They translated something he said, which suggests to me that we are going to hear him talk a little bit, or at least see it translated with like little subtitles on the bottom. And it looks like after an initial rough meeting that he is going to be working alongside her. So it's going to be this reluctant meeting between
we see him dragging
humanoid android, her torso. Her upper torso is like he's carrying her like a little Yoda backpack.
Yep.
And
it does look like it involves another group of possibly Weyland Yutani like special forces or something.
Like hunting him down,
I think this is a nice blend.
Yeah, now that I see another... so I didn't know it was going to be kind of a fun team-up thing. I thought they were going to be fighting or whatever. But
I think reluctantly...
they will be reluctant allies.
Yes, yeah.
And that
so it becomes a buddy cop.
It looked fun in there. You know what? That's a solid format.
I think so, too. And it's something we haven't really seen.
I think people have always wanted to see a Predator that has to... that allied with the people, and they're going to get it here.
I need to watch the animated film, which I know is essentially like a silent movie kind of thing. But
mostly, but it's three different sort of eras.
But I like the idea.
It was solid. It's just solid.
Yeah.
This looks more inventive.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited for this. I thought this was a really good trailer.
It's a well done trailer with lots of kind of cool moments and things that made me be like, oh, I want to see that.
The other trailers, which are both they're sort of related, is for a movie that. I think none of us were super excited about because the first one sucked.
The first one was awful.
Which is
not
to say,
like the new first one. The original.
The original first one was a ton of fun.
And what we're talking about is Mortal Kombat.
And
Still
so them doing a Mortal Kombat 2, I wasn't excited. I was like, they're probably going to be boring again. But this is stars Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
Right.
And
he's probably just the right age to play a slightly aging out
star,
martial artist.
where Mortal Kombat, the first one that came out, not the very first one, but the last
90s one by Thomas Anderson,
Yeah.
Paul Anderson,
That
Paul
one's great.
F. Anderson, which is the schlock one?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah. Yes.
P.T. Anderson.
P.T. Anderson, yes.
That's a very fun movie. Then they did a kind of like a more serious reinvention of it a few years ago,
And it was terrible.
And
also, it was like it was on the prelude. There were interesting characters. There was no Mortal Kombat in Mortal Kombat.
Right. It was like about the lead up to the training,
Right.
and stuff.
The good news about that is that now they have set up the tournament, and this is going to be the tournament.
Yeah. It actually looks like a harder R version, kind of the 90s
Of the original one, yeah.
Which is to say, there's fun stuff. Johnny Cage is like making his movies, and he's kind of washed up, and some fan is like, "Oh, hey, aren't you Johnny Cage? Oh, they should do a remake of that movie you were in, or whatever,
Yeah.
or a reboot of it."
But he wants no part of any of this.
He wants no part of it. And then one day, Raiden,
Raiden and Sonya Blade
is like in like a parking garage
Yep.
or something,
Yep.
and this is where it has some of that tongue-in-cheek humor of the 90s version, which I think is vital to this project.
Mm-hmm.
Which was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson is the good one.
The Boogie Nights.
Right. The next sort of Scorsese guy. Yeah.
Paul W.S. Anderson is the guy who's done a bunch of crap video game
Was
movies.
married to Mia Jovovich.
Right. He did Resident Evil.
Was he, or is he?
I think he is.
Because she married everyone who directs her in a bunch of
Luc
movies.
Besson was the
Luc
creeper.
Besson.
He's the creeper.
I thought he was married to her.
But I think they divorced.
But he is married to Mia Jovovich right now.
Okay, so
So he's a good guy.
Sure,
Maybe he's a
okay.
good guy.
He makes schlock movies.
He does, but like his big ones, like he's got like 2 or 3 that I think are actually kind of pretty good fun ones.
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon is one
right.
of those,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I liked his schlocky Pompeii movie, which is kind of Gladiator.
I actually think the original Resident Evil movie is
it's
solid.
okay.
Right.
But he did make a lot of Resident Evil
Right,
movies.
but that's who he is,
Yes.
right? But anyway, but no one I think can deny the
But he
infectious, fun energy that he brought to the original Mortal Kombat.
Could anything rival his Death Race, though?
I never saw that.
I didn't
Yes, you
see it
didn't.
either.
Isn't? Oh no! What am I?
No, you're thinking of Doomsday.
I'm thinking
which was
of
by
Doomsday.
a much better director.
Okay,
That was by the guy who did Dog Soldiers.
Yeah,
I think.
Marshall.
that's
something
right.
Marshall.
Okay, I failed.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's right. That's all right. But anyway, yeah. So this seems to be though like following in the footsteps of his best movie,
Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
And it is a somewhat more violent one take on it, but like again, it seemed to have the fun. I don't want it to be just violent.
Right.
And we spotted so there's Sonya Blade, Jax,
Princess Katana.
Princess
Kano.
Katana, Shao Kahn.
Yep.
We didn't see Goro. Did
No,
we?
no Goro.
Goro just yet.
That maybe they may be holding out on that one. But honestly,
Shang Tsung.
pretty fun trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty fun trailer.
So my only cautionary thing is it is directed by the same director as the first one was.
Maybe he
Simon
learned his
McCoy.
lesson.
It's possible. Because this definitely feels like a more fun version, but
Yeah.
I'm approaching with trepidation
Yeah.
because, man, that first one was boring as hell.
Yeah.
I seem to remember it had some decent fight scenes and stuff. Was that the one that was told from the perspective of like Sub-Zero or
Well, it had his like framing device was Scorpion.
Scorpion, right?
like-
And his like the battle between their houses, sort
And
of, right?
him and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
But focused it on a character named Cole Young, which I think was like an entirely
That's right. New invented character.
a new
That's
invented
right,
character
yeah.
thing. And
Maybe that character will get. What would be fun is if he got killed in like round 1 of this.
I would love it. It'd
They
be
should
great.
bring him back and have him be cannon fodder. But I do. Yeah, those were 2 fun trailers that
Yeah.
I would not have. That I didn't have any interest in particularly
Yeah,
before.
kind of surprised too.
So.
God, it says Goro was in that version, and I'm like, was he?
Was he?
I don't remember.
Is he just a dude?
It was played by Angus Sampson, the guy from.
They had like decent CG in that movie, as I recall.
He was played by Angus Sampson as the guy from the Insidious movies, the big guy.
Oh, okay.
Which, like, sure, but
I
also I don't
if
remember
this
that.
movie is getting at least halfway decent reviews, I may rewatch that one and then I'll watch.
I
this
don't
one.
know that I would recommend that.
No, because then I want to know what little Easter eggs make it in there. I do
Sure.
kind of like the schlock lore of Mortal Kombat, so. It's our world, Randy. If they win 10 Mortal Kombats, they get to take over our world.
Who made that deal?
Yeah, I'm
That
not
seemed
quite
like a bad
sure.
deal, like 10.
but
And why 10?
Did Raiden in kind of a drunken stupor do that?
It
Yeah,
seems
he's like,
like-
what if you guys win like 7 tournaments.
I could see Christopher Lambert.
You can have all the Earth, and you're like, how about 10?
Yeah, I like the idea of them like kind of. He's always so mysterious and Yoda-like or whatever, and they're like, where did the deal actually come from? And he's like, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Yeah. Definitely wasn't some drunken sorcerer making bets with Shao Kahn
on a random Friday night.
At a bowling alley.
I feel like that he's not actually that enigmatic and mysterious. He's not enigmatic and mysterious. He's just so drunk that he has to act like that or he doesn't say some really stupid shit.
You know who we saw in this one? Baraka. The Outland mutant with the spiked arms and stuff like that. He was shooting spikes and doing all the cool stuff. Yeah,
I like playing
that was one of my favorite characters to play.
I was a Street Fighter fan.
Yeah, see, all I needed was a game I could button mash and there was blood. So.
I was originally more of a Mortal Kombat fan, but I've come to enjoy the Street Fighter lore and stuff. I suck at all of them.
I'm a Soul Calibur fan myself.
Soul Calibur's fun.
Spent a bit of time on Tekken.
Tekken was mine. I mean, I guess that between Mortal Kombat.
I like to play the wrestling guy, King, or the capoeira guy,
Eddie,
yeah.
Yeah, I've played so many hours of Tekken.
Couple bits of news to talk about. Taika Waititi is apparently going to be doing a Judge Dredd movie.
No, thank you.
It's kind of how I feel too.
I say possible, yes, thank you.
Drew Pearce, who wrote The Fall Guy, which I know you loved.
I did like The Fall Guy.
And Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which I know you loved.
Wait, which one was Rogue Nation?
Yeah, Rogue Nation, was that the Henry Cavill one?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, if that was that...
This is the one that right after that one.
Oh, and that one was just... Okay. That one was mediocre.
Well, anyway, he's writing the script, which is interesting because Fall Guy is sort of action comedy. Mission Impossible absolutely wasn't. And we know Taika Waititi is going to do like the over-the-top action-y, the comedy action thing. But the thing is, like, Dave, you and I talked about this a little bit off mic, that basically... Judge Dredd is a dark humor project. Like, it should have a little bit of sense of humor. But if you go too far, you get the Sylvester Stallone version. Right.
But that was, like, tonally actually closer than the arguably better crafted Raid ripoff movie that came out, 10 years ago with Carl Urban?
2012.
2012.
Yep, so 13 years ago.
Yep.
Carl Urban was great in it. It had a script by Alex Garland. From 28 Days Later.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And I know that they kind of did the thing where they where they had like the fake swears in the comic, like they would say like grok and stuff like that. They went ahead and just made it kind of like hard R, a little bit more Paul Verhoeven.
The thing is, I loved that Dredd movie.
It's really good. It's really good. But the thing is, I actually could see this working with Taika Waititi's sensibilities.
Maybe.
Because, we've seen him kind of do... Like, I didn't love Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Right? But, that there is the darkest of dark satire in that.
Yeah, sure.
I like Jojo Rabbit.
And I liked it.
I liked it fine. I just didn't think it was great.
But it has some elements in it that make me think, could he handle some of the darker stuff in this? Possibly so. And him going a little bit wilder, where we haven't ever seen Judge Death and some of that.
Right.
Like we did see the psychics in use, Judge Anderson and stuff in there. But I want to see the kind of the wildest stuff that Mega City 1 has to offer. I want it to be a full satire of America's craziest stuff, because Mega City 1 is America.
Yeah. I can almost see it working, but also the Thor movie he did with Natalie Portman was so jokey that it undercut itself at every turn.
Totally.
And I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. The last thing that I saw from him that I did quite like was I saw a big chunk of the first season of Our Flag Means Death.
Yep.
And I liked that. But that's obviously totally very different from this.
Yeah.
That's fully him in his own playing in his own world. But it did kind of get him back a little bit on my good side, because I saw that after Thor kind of disappointed me.
I just think he is in kind of full throttle mode, and I think that's where he falters all the time.
Yeah.
It's not... I don't know if that's what I want from Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I wonder if he has the... Who was it? Didn't McG or one of those people, somebody kind of known for something kind of schlocky, do something kind of hard edge at some point?
Yeah, that happens.
Like McG did a Terminator movie or something like that.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah.
And I always wonder is he going to try and do something more like that? Is he going to? But I think there's almost no chance it's not going to have humor and satire and stuff in it. Anyway, I am cautiously interested.
Maybe he'll recast Armand Assante and he can
return.
I am the law!
I am the law.
The law. Yeah.
I did have a lot of fun with that.
I'm sure Rob Schneider's free, so...
Jesus. I'm sure
You
Sylvester
can kill him off in the opening scene. And all right.
kill Sylvester Stallone while we're at it.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing to note, DC Studios has hired Anna Noguera, who is writing the Supergirl screenwriter, or wrote the Supergirl script, to write its Wonder Woman reboot.
Oh, interesting.
She's also writing a live-action Teen Titans.
That's a lot of big guns right there.
So they must really like the script for Supergirl.
I hope so. That's, one of the things that I do like, but I've yet to see, will this pay off, is James Gunn, in general, whenever he's talking about upcoming projects, very often talks about the script.
Yep.
And he's like, we have a really great script on this. And that's pretty cool. Like, it's like he's looking at these mainly from a story perspective, or at least that's the pitch.
Yep.
But because Superman was so good, I feel like he may be true to his word. He generally seems to be a person of integrity. And so, right now I've got some trust invested in his decisions, which was what I was hoping Superman would do, and it did.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if we get any casting news.
Yeah.
I had heard somewhere.
They heard a rumor.
And I thought it was maybe from a better than average source, but now I don't remember that. Oh my gosh, the lady who played Bix on Andor might play Wonder Woman, and I think that would be a cool idea.
Yeah. No, I think she'd be great.
Yeah.
I think she's got the chops for it.
Yeah. All right. Let's give a spoiler warning for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3.
Yep.
If you haven't watched yet, we're gonna maybe spoil some stuff. They've dropped 2 episodes, and we're gonna talk about it. Dave, of course, had his magical special powers to watch it early.
Yeah. Well, when you're associated with a podcast, you sometimes Star Trek podcast, you get the screener copies. I feel like you had some
hindrance though with the way you saw.
Oh yeah. So I'll say I saw it with other people who are like some of the podcast contributors, and we're watching it on Discord. And
that'd be piped down, people.
Yeah, well, so we turn off the audio so nobody can talk over it.
Yeah.
But there's a little sidebar thing on Discord, and I'm not very fluent in Discord. I know everybody else is. It's been around like 15 fucking years now. Yep. But I'm not. And anyway, but they're like, the chat window is open. And so I'm watching this, and they're like posting, because these are a bunch of Trek nerds, and they're like, they know every reference. They know them deeper than I do. And they're like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, I wonder if they're going to do this. And then so I'm hearing the little pop-up sound of new posts. It's like, bloop, 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 bloop.
That would drive me crazy.
So for like the first 5 minutes of the first episode, I'm like Googling in another tab, how do you turn off the audio for comments on Discord, which I figured out how to do.
I mean, to start with, I think Strange New Worlds is my favorite Star Trek show right now. I mean, or from the vast array of Star Trek shows that they've done.
You put it at the top?
Yeah, it's the top.
I got to give it up. This is not often you can have somebody who comes in like the Ensign Mount playing Pike, and who so instantly becomes a fan favorite.
Well, he's great, and I love him, and I love his take on Pike and his kind of the leader that he is. But it's the crew that I really, really love.
I agree about the ensemble, but I think without Pike it doesn't work. Anson Mount is the beating heart of this show.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? He's got the can-do attitude of like a Kirk or a 1960s astronaut.
Yep.
But combined with a little modern sensitivity, he's like, he's not... He rarely... He doesn't...
He's not a bro.
He doesn't snap at his crew. Yeah. And in fact, notably, he is like... He's like a friend who is like, I'm going to make you the officer's dinner tonight. Come by, and we'll have drinks and dinner.
He usually lifts his people up.
Right. He kind of has the earned respect of them. But it is more like he is the... What is it? First among equals, almost in a way.
So,
but yeah, and it has a great cast. Which at this point includes classic updates of classic characters like Scotty and Spock.
Yep.
But also newer members like oh my gosh, she's the helmsman Ortegas.
She flies the ship.
She flies the ship. Don't forget that.
I thought they were going to kill her.
I thought so too.
I was really worried they were going to kill her.
I actually thought they were too. So I am glad about that. In a way, I sort of wanted a little bit of weight to this second part of... So this was a big cliffhanger. The Gorn had taken prisoners, used their Gorn spore to impregnate somebody because the Gorn have elements of kind of xenomorphs in this interpretation. And there was also big Gorn ships. And so this is the follow-up. It's kind of... I don't want to compare it to one of the most famous Star Trek episodes, duos of all time, Best of Both Worlds.
That was definitely the comparison they were drawing.
But yes, it's like the big Borg episode of Next Gen. It has something in common with that because they had played up the stakes of the Gorn very high.
The obvious comparison is when they cliffhangered, it seemed like our crew was screwed.
Yes.
Like, it seemed like it was over. And then, instead of having to wait for a summer to see what happened, we had to wait 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit painful and ridiculous.
I feel like that was a misstep.
I agree.
But wasn't that like writer's strike?
Yes.
Stuff?
It was
so
on purpose.
I would rather that the writers be paid.
Yep.
Well,
than
no.
But it was unfortunate timing.
It was
almost
unfortunate
went
timing.
and watched the first part before I watched these 2 episodes.
It's been a long time.
I ultimately chose not to, and I think that may have played a little bit to my, not dislike of the episode, but kind of it fizzled for me. There were definitely moments that I thought were really well done. The Spock Nurse Chapel stuff, I think, was a
I'm planning
highlight.
to rewatch the episode, but I think I might do what you were talking about, Nick, and rewatch the tail end of the first season or the second season.
Yeah,
Like, I thought the scenes with Carol Kane and their Scotty were really good.
They were fun. Her being Scotty's instructor, who basically was like you were a better student because you
work under pressure.
You work under pressure. Yeah.
It's just like he never showed up for class. He was kind of like. Almost like
he wasn't a good student,
right? He was
like a little gimmicky in the sense that it's sort of like kind of like how on Smallville when you see like, oh, that's why Superboy does this or Superman does this, that's where he got that.
Yep.
But they do clearly make out that Scotty is a guy who kind of hems and haws until it's the last minute, and then he's like brilliant.
Yeah, I did think
she
fakes him out.
She fakes him out, and she said she comes into the room, and she's like, they've got us, like locked on. She's like, we've got less than a minute to do this, and he's like, oh my god, and he like starts cobbling together stuff, and he's like, okay, do this, and she's like, okay, she's like, they're not actually here.
The character that Carol Kane is playing,
I love her character.
Feels a little odd for Star Trek, but my baggage with Carol Kane of that I love her so much, it kind of overwrites a lot of that.
She's not unlike, isn't she part of Guinan's race or something?
No, but
she is
a long-lived
race. Yeah.
So she feels a little off-kilter.
Or is she?
I thought she was part of Guinan's race.
I think she is.
I think you might be right.
I think she is.
I've actually somehow forgotten that.
Yeah. But she feels a little...
quirky.
Yeah, a little quirky. Not exactly what I expect from the bridge crew.
Sure.
But she's cool. I love Carol Kane, and her delivery of the lines is fantastic.
Ethan, you mentioned, by the way, that Ethan Peck, who plays Spock,
and I forget her name, but who plays Nurse Chapel, Jess Bush.
Yep.
I think they have amazing chemistry.
Yes, they're doing. You mentioned earlier, Nick, their scenes, and they are trying to figure out a way, basically. Not unlike in the Alien movies, there is somebody who is impregnated with Gorn here with one of their little eggs, and it's like not just one but like multiple.
Yeah.
And there's like it's so sort of insidious and linked into the person's system that there's basically no way to remove it without killing them.
And it's kind of like taking an alien idea and turning it on its head a little bit, because in alien movies, if you're impregnated, you're fucked. I mean, there's no. So it was kind of nice to see them on the fly. And show...
Trek is like, Trek is all about problem solving.
It's problem solving, but it is an underlining thing of hope. And especially this show, it goes dark, but it never goes to dark, well, except for when they're killing babies. But
it rarely goes to that place.
It rarely goes to the depths where I think people are going to die completely.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think even knowing that, it was tense. But then,
well, it was kind of cool is they kept on coming up with like let's try this, and they're like, computer, run that scenario, and it's like 0% chance, 0% chance, 0% chance, and then it's like, like 12% chance of survival, and they're like, shit, do we go with this? And so there's some fun stuff there.
Also, they have what not Ortega, it's Lon,
the security officer
who has a backstory with the Gorn. Is basically she has to be the leader of the small crew that's over there to get them out of the Gorn's like prison ship.
Right, they're in their like giant. The sort of it looks like sort of like a hive in Alien.
Yeah.
And remind me,
catacombs.
She is Khan's
granddaughter, essentially,
something like that. It may be a little bit farther along the line, but there's the ancestor. She is Khan is an immediate or like a near ancestor.
Yeah.
But
I thought she was used pretty well.
Yeah, they did a really good job with her. I'm liking Kirk, not James, but
his brother Sam. Yeah, just as a reminder, in the original show, Sam Kirk showed in exactly one episode in which he was found dead.
And he's a microbiologist? Because he knows like all the terrain and kind of the...
I think that's right.
I liked the notion that he was able to sort of problem solve the Gorn ship by recognizing bits and pieces.
He's like almost my favorite supporting character.
I really like him.
He's so good. It sucks that he is destined to die, but I think that was kind of the genius of what they've done. And I even have a notion of something I hope that they do. I don't know if they will, but I would love for them to do it since they have an actor who plays Kirk, right? Yeah. I would love for them to...
He's a solid actor, too.
Flash, if they could, somehow, when he's transferred off ship, maybe in the final season or whatever, because we know he'll go and be on a colony world, which is where he dies. And... but if they could, put on a little age makeup for the current Kirk we've got, so they show him when he, reacting to his brother, or something that from the present day, whatever adventures they've had recently, will resonate, and it will maybe come full circle if they show Kirk at his funeral, at a memorial, or something like that. It would be nice to give that scene because it had no room to breathe on the old show,
right?
So, and they could fix that.
So I do have a question, and I don't know if you can answer it or not.
Yep.
But the Gorn, typically not a race that Kirk was supposed to be the first one who ran into them.
First one who...
or not ran into them, but, you saw face to face.
They were kind of they call themselves the Gorn. Right. They were definitely acting like they didn't really know what
by the end of this episode, did they essentially put that continuity back?
No, they did. They're
because only a couple of
they put them in a hibernation, but this notion that the crew
they would still report on it.
Yeah,
but they only but the away crew
knew that they were about to attack the whole Federation.
But they were going against, not against orders, but they were definitely not doing what they were supposed to.
They were more. This is more info. This is more
anymore.
Information on the Gorn than they should have. They definitely fudge things, I think.
It's closer to what kind of Enterprise did, where Enterprise was supposed to be set before basically any of the shows by 100 years, but they still snuck in a Ferengi episode, snuck in a Borg episode, snuck in a Romulan episode.
It's hard not to play the
what
hits.
they did with the Romulan thing is that, when Kirk's time, when they first see them, they're like, oh, these are an offshoot of the Vulcan race, and suddenly there's suspicions about Spock being an undercover agent.
Right.
So they had to, that scene has to still stay intact. So they actually never see the Romulan crew in the old Enterprise episode. They did work with it, but they would fudge things kind of like they fudged it here, where you're like, I don't know.
I felt like they fudged it in a way that made sense to me.
I'm going to rewatch it and see. I think there might have been a bit of fudging.
I think we're on a spectrum here once again. Nick is pretty much okay with this.
Yeah.
I have some issues, and Dave is like, fuck the Gorn.
That is kind of true. I feel like, I didn't want them to become this kind of fast-moving xenomorph-esque thing.
Yeah.
I know that the old Gorn on the old show kind of moved slow and hokey, but we just rewatched it I did a recap show on Text Trek with it, and it was so fun. We had so much fun with it. And I like the big brute Gorn.
Yeah.
In fact, they did a version of that on Enterprise. In their Mirror Universe episode, there's a mercenary Gorn who kicks much ass on the Enterprise, and he's sort of early 2000s level CG.
Yeah.
Not the best.
Yeah.
But solid for a TV budget. And, he's using his tail to knock people around. But he was also kind of clever and had guile. It was a good rethink of the Gorn without changing him as much as they did.
So my question is, why make this the Gorn? Why not if they wanted to do an Aliens riff, why not just make another race?
It's the same thing as why Marvel and DC continue to reuse legacy names, or even remember they used to have Vertigo books that were called Shade the Changing Man that had very little to do with the original incarnations of the characters.
Yeah,
but it kind of drew attention. I think it's that. That's all.
It definitely bothers me. It doesn't bother me to the extent that you do because I haven't watched the original series.
Yeah.
But I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And so that kind of bugs me. So this the first issue back, our first episode back, I liked but didn't love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second episode back, I also liked but didn't love, but I'm closer to loving it.
Right. It is a fun standalone episode, which is very different from the previous one.
Oh yeah.
But, that is the old Trek tradition, which was, any given episode, you don't know what tone they're going to pick for the next one.
And that's when Strange New Worlds is at its best, too, is you want it to be a little episodic.
So it starts out...
it focuses on Spock.
Right.
I mean, basically, Spock and Nurse Chapel, they had an on-again, off-again relationship. She is going to a basically a fellowship with a known archaeologist.
Yeah, Richard Corby,
I
believe.
And
who is also a character from the original series.
They flash forward 3 months.
Well, they decide to basically put their relationship on pause.
Yeah,
and they're mostly came from different places. This was definitely a thing where Spock was like, "Oh, we'll put it on pause. 3 months later, we'll get back together."
Right,
and she was like, "We're done."
Right,
and you can tell that's kind of where they were.
It's funny. Characters like Spock and Data. Like, I didn't really ever think about this growing up, but now, as people do analysis, they'll often talk about them being sort of autism-coded.
Yeah.
And Spock vibes that way here, where he's like, oh, he didn't read between the lines.
Right.
Many people would read between the lines and see, like, she was basically saying we're done.
But that's not the Vulcan.
But he took it kind of at a face value.
He's like, 3 months, sure, no problem.
You could potentially argue that she should have been more thoughtful about, how Spock would interpret it.
But we know from this interpretation of Chapel that she is not good at relationships.
Right.
Well, she outright says that.
She says it numerous times, yeah.
So she comes back to visit the Enterprise, and she's with the archaeologist who was mentoring her.
And it turns out they're dating.
And they're dating. Are they engaged?
No, they were just dating.
I thought they were.
Did they say something about it?
I think they said that he proposed to her not too long ago.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And they just didn't tell anybody that until...
But then shortly after,
Spock is kind of lamenting to a Vulcan
bartender who we see as Rhys Darby, from Flight of the Conchords and numerous other things,
right?
Voltron,
Jumanji. He was the guide in Jumanji.
And
great New Zealand comedian.
So we have a little hint that something's going on.
Correct.
And Spock basically wishes that things were different, and then he wakes up and he is suddenly. It is his wedding day that he and Chapel are getting married.
Because they were coming together to celebrate...
Starfleet Centennial.
Oh,
that's right.
And then it morphs into their wedding.
Right. So this is a funny episode of a pending wedding, which, by the way, you get to see the crew put on all their finest and all that stuff, and lots of pomp and circumstance.
It twists into a screwball comedy.
Right. The wedding planner in this is this manipulator, Rhys Darby's character, who... has high powers. In fact, you might even say almost Q level powers.
Well, because he poses as an Andorian. I thought it was a very clever.
Oh, right. Everybody sees him.
He sees a little reflection of himself as an Andorian, and we saw him as Rhys Darby, but he's the Andorian wedding planner.
Right.
And the only person who remembers the real reality is Corby, the doctor, who was...
So he's particularly being tormented because he knows this is not what the timeline is supposed to be like.
Right.
And interestingly, though, when he goes to Spock with it, he convinces him.
Not immediately.
Punches him.
Spock punches him out, and then Spock realizes,
Is it Spock realizing, like, I shouldn't have done that?
No, it's somehow they were trying to figure out whether it was, like, emotion or something like that. I think it was, like, he was angry, and that broke through the barrier of it, and then when he punches him immediately, like, he realizes, oh, wait, and, like, the real universe snaps into his mind.
Right. So, and then Spock has to, like, wrestle the sort of more serious side of the episode is, he's like, oh, shit. He's like, it's the thing I kind of most wanted, at least in this moment, was to be with her. And he's like, but I realize it is wrong, and now I have to actually fix it and undo my happy day.
The sort of screwball comedy with the underlying, sadness of it all. Of Spock having to work with this guy who he just met, he really doesn't like.
But by the way, he is a pretty good guy.
He's a pretty good guy, but the two of them having to buddy comedy to make sure that the Nurse Chapel marries not Spock but the other guy.
Right.
And having to work so hard for his romantic rival. It's funny, but it's also kind of dark, and it's really well done.
Yeah, that's when I like how the show works, that they could do a comedy episode that has some undertones like that.
Yeah.
And they did it before too on that, the episode that had the storybook thing.
Yeah.
With
but also
Dr. Mbenga.
The time travel thing where Lon and Kirk could develop a relationship, and only she remembers it.
Right. That was a brutal episode.
They like to do this little there's somebody on the writing staff who really likes lamentable long lost romance.
Well, I guess it's that tradition from the original series with Kirk and being fated to lose his loved one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. People who are doing good relationship-wise in it are like Pike and
the captain.
Battelle.
But even then, they have stress.
Yeah.
And her she almost got turned into
historically, shows like this
thorn.
Don't like long-standing romances because you don't want to show a character be content. They always want to kind of either be isolated, not isolated, but like either unattached so that it's kind of just not a thing, and they could just romance any given person they run into, or they want them to have had a sad experience.
Yeah.
It's a small thing. They added another character in this episode.
Who's the other character?
doctor that was like interning with
I like the other
character.
doctor.
Yeah,
I don't know
he
what
was
this
cool.
person is there for.
Yeah.
Like, if they will serve a plot point, if it's
Chapel
leading
was
into
gone,
somebody.
this person was interning as kind of a replacement.
Yeah.
The kind of ingratiated himself into the crew so much that and did a good job, obviously.
Yeah.
And so that Mbenga basically hired him on completely. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that goes.
He's a nurse in the sick bay thing.
Also, some fun stuff with Leon teaching Spock to dance.
Yeah.
That is itself kind of potentially a callback to Dr. Crusher showed Data how to dance once.
Yep.
The actress who plays Dr. Crusher, Gates McFadden, is in fact a dancer and a professional choreographer, or was, but I'm sure she's retired now. But the most notable thing she's known for is Labyrinth. She did the dancing stuff in that.
Yeah.
I get caught up in a lot of the small stuff. I like when they do kind of these smaller stories with good character beats.
Yeah.
And I can kind of gel with it a little bit.
I will say neither of these episodes hit like what I think Stranger World does best yet.
No, I don't think so.
I've heard, and I have heard, by the way, good stuff about the third episode, but I don't know anything about like what its tone is or anything. So I'm excited to see it. It didn't get off on like the amazing foot that I wanted it to, but it is nice to see the tonal change-ups that are the hallmark of this series, that you could have, this is a pretty serious episode, people could die, and then suddenly the next one, it's a crazy wedding thing, being tweaked by an alien god, who, by the way, they do come around full circle and suggest that this character, fans in my circles had basically known that, what's his name, Rhys Darby?
Yeah.
That he was going to play Trelane. Trelane is one of the earliest godlike, imp-like aliens that Kirk dealt with in the original series, only for one episode.
Yeah.
But he was kind of I'm going to say a queer-coded foppish guy who perfect to be updated by Rhys Darby. By the way, that's his brand.
Yep.
Who was like an alien kind of who was watching Earth from afar, and it was the light waves from Earth from like the 1700s had only just reached him, and it was kind of like, oh, that's my new thing I'm into. That's I'm gonna be like an English hunter, and I'm gonna have duels and go on fox hunts and play the harpsichord and stuff like that. Only when Kirk and his guys show up and he takes them on as guests, they offend him at some point and he kills one of those red shirts or somebody, and they're like, oh, well, this is more serious, and Kirk and those guys have to get serious about stopping him. But yeah, this was an update of that character, and they did something that had been done in Star Trek books before but never in any of the shows, which is to link him to the Q continuum.
Yeah.
As the possible son of Q. John Delancey voices the parent who comes for them in the end.
Oh, I've immediately clocked that voice.
Yeah. It's I do recommend watching the original episode for people who see this. It's called The Squire of Gothos. It's a fun episode with Kirk and his crew being at the mercy of this foppish dude who plays the harpsichord. Star Trek at its crazy, balls tripping its craziest.
And that's what we're getting with Strange New Worlds. It does some weird stuff, but it usually does it pretty well.
They did a musical episode where Klingons had to sing to a boy band in the boy band style.
Yes.
And it was a really good episode.
They also did an episode where the Enterprise got turned into like a medieval...
like Castle and the Fairyland.
And was genius.
Yep. So yes, here's hoping the season 3 continues to grow. A solid but maybe not great start, but we'll report back in.
So, for the record, Lanthanites are what Carol Kane is playing.
Oh, that is a different race.
El-Orions are Guinans, so not the same race. All right, I think that wraps it up for us this week. We'll be back next week with more, including our thoughts on Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And until that time,
Yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.